Welcome back into the film room. I'm your host, Eric Turner. Today we have a long film room session breaking down the 9-6 loss of the Buffalo Bills to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Going into the game, we knew that the Bills were going to face some struggles up front along the offensive line. They didn't have starting guard John Feliciano. They didn't have starting right tackle Spencer Brown. So they had to shift some guys around, and the Jags did a really good job of exploiting a lot of those matchups. There's no denying the athleticism that the Jags have along their defensive line, but it wasn't just a talent that won in this matchup. It was also the scheme. They knew how to attack the Bills' pass protections and really compromise the pocket and spot in the pocket of Josh Allen. For most of the day, the Bills' interior offensive line struggled to maintain the depth of the pocket. The pocket was consistently pushed into the lap of Josh Allen, and right in front of him, whether it was a play action pass or straight drop back pass, the pocket was collapsing in his face, and he was not able to step up into the pocket anytime that there was pressure off the edges. In this game, Josh Allen saw pressure 38.9% of his dropbacks and only completed passes at 46.7 a clip when under pressure. That sort of pressure really got into Josh Allen's head. It caused him to be out of rhythm, out of whack, and really in his own head when it came to even calling pass protections at times when the Jags were showing different types of defensive looks. All of that pressure from the Jags defense and Josh Allen's internal pressure to make some plays to put the team on his back really caused Josh Allen to revert back to that hero ball mentality that we hadn't seen in quite a while. All right, guys, grab a proper drink, sit down and relax, try to enjoy the show, even though I know it's a little rough. So without further ado, let's jump into the film. So on the very first play of the game, you're going to see how out of rhythm, out of whack Josh Allen and the offensive line are. So 2x2 set, Jag showing a 2-high safety look, post snap, Jenkins to the bottom of the screen, drops down, takes Sweeney. Looks like man coverage with some underneath help for the Jags. But Josh's throw is probably right to Diggs. Snaps that route off. There's some separation, but it's got to be on time. It's got to be in rhythm. He bypasses that, and that's the opportunity he had. Now, the issue after that is watch Butker. Look at the depth of the pocket. Interior offensive linemen are responsible for the depth of the pocket. That is quickly eliminated, especially because Josh bypassed the throw to Diggs. Here it is from the end zone angle. Watch Butker from the snap here. What he's taught is get nose to nose with that defensive tackle. He does a good job of doing that. But then you see the hands get into the body of Butker, and he just uses a power move to disengage, to collapse the pocket, to put the pocket right in the lap of Josh Allen. So you can see the defensive tackle has good leverage out wide here, so he really kind of hems Josh in. Josh isn't going to escape that way, especially with the long arm right here from that defensive tackle. Now, of course, he could have went out this way, but early in the game, he's trying to hang in the pocket, get in rhythm, get those easy passes. He's not able to on this. He ends up having to throw it into the dirt. The second play of the Bills' first drive. You see Josh get up to the line of scrimmage, and he changes the formation here, getting them set prior to the snap. Puts them into a stacked look in the backfield. You see Rudy Ford off the edge showing blitz, and he does come, but the pocket is once again compromised. The depth of the pocket is compromised here. Play action fake, and what the Jags end up doing, they did this a lot. We see this a lot as Bills fans. Bring the nickel, drop the weak side edge defender, Josh Allen. You see the play action fake, but immediately look at where the line of scrimmage is, and then look where it ends up as Josh hits the top of his drop. So he just hit the top of his drop, and the pocket is in his face already. How well he can see these routes developing down the field, who knows? So what does he do with the pocket collapsing in his face? He checks it down. Smart move. Get some positive yardage. Live to see another down. The Bills' offensive line does a good job of picking up that pressure off the edge here. Watch as the ball is snapped. These guys are all sliding this way. And as Smoot spikes inside, Ford's going to pick him up. That leaves Williams free to pick up that rusher off the edge. They pick it up really well, but again, the pocket collapses in front of Josh Allen. Not the edges, not the width, the depth. And that is up to the offensive line to maintain the depth of the pocket. And you see Butker, again, he does anchor down there. Nice double hop there, but the pocket is already in Josh's face, and he's under duress and just has to check it down. Still on the same drive, 2nd and 10 situation. Bills are down 3-0. Send out a 2x2 set. And I want you to watch this play because from the broadcast angle, a lot of fans are saying that Darrell Williams really screwed this play up, allowing that pressure to come off the edge, which he did let that guy win the edge. There's no doubt about it. He tries punching him with his inside hand, and the defender is able to dip it. But I'll bring it back to the top where you can see the play. The Jags have a 5-man pressure call. They're sending 5, but they're playing zone behind it. It's a 3 deep, 3 under zone pressure from the Jags. Safety to the bottom is coming. And the issue with this is Josh hits the top of his throw, and you're going to see Diggs, who's the receiver to the top of the screen, break his route off again. You're asking yourself, well, why isn't Josh throwing that? Well, watch Sweeney. He's running the seam route. This is a Haas concept. He's running down the seam. Myles Jack does not allow him to get into the seam. In fact, he rides him outside the numbers. So the spacing of these routes are terrible now. And Josh doesn't throw it because he probably sees Jack sitting right in there. Now, could have Josh maybe thrown it back here and let him come back to the ball? Yeah, but that's still a risky throw under duress. So he pulls the ball down right there and ends up trying to throw it to Diggs late, but it's overthrown with pressure in his face. The pressure from the edge player, Dwayne Smoot versus Darrell Williams, gets to Josh right around 2.9 seconds. You see the inside punch right there by Williams. I don't know why. Cross chop, manipulation of stride by Smoot there. He gets the edge, bends and flattens to the quarterback. Look how beautiful of a rush that is. And he's in Josh's face. That's 2.9 seconds. Again, the quick game was there. Josh hit the top of the drop, and if the spacing was correct, the ball would be out, but instead it goes incomplete. 3rd and 10 situation, same drive. You see Josh get up to the line of scrimmage and change the play or change the protection. And then as he drops back, there's a free rusher at him. He makes a miss, but he's able to pick up the 1st down for the Bills to extend this drive. So you see Josh changing the protection up front, I believe. Looks like he's talking to Ford and Williams and communicating to them what pass protection they're going to run. You see him kind of rush too. He's up against the play clock, but I think this is just a bad pass protection call, and I think it's Josh that put him in it. So there are 5 guys across the board, and I think what Josh should have done is go to man-to-man pass protection, 5-0 blocking, where every guy has a man and they can execute it. Everyone's covered up. There's really no second-level defender that could be rushing and that they would have to account for. And I can see why he called this slide protection, because he saw some sort of game or stunt coming from the left side of the offensive line, just based on this alignment. Usually these are the type of calls where you get those, pirate stunts for Josh Allen, or even what ends up happening is a little stunt between these two guys. So I understand why he slid the protection to his left. That's to pick up that stunt. And if you're going 5-0 protection, that can really create issues because then all 5 offensive linemen have to stay on the same level as they're passing stunts. So I understand why he did this, but by doing that, and again, I don't know if it's a partial slide with 4 guys or if it's a 5-man full slide with Williams also going to his left. But either way, you see what happens after the snap. As they're all sliding to their left, the linebacker drops out to pick up Moss out of the backfield. So now Williams is left in no man's land. There's no way he can get enough depth to pick up the free rusher off the edge, Smoot. Look how wide Smoot is out there. There's no way. He doesn't have that type of athleticism, and I don't believe if this is a full slide call, that is really not his assignment anyways. So I think this is really on Josh and his pass protection call, how he was up against the clock here, rushed the play, but he is able to get himself out of a jam. He's able to make that free rusher miss and then get upfield for the 1st down. 3rd and 6 situation, ball on the 6-yard line, 4:30 on the clock. See the Bills bring Moss in. They try to ID the coverage there, and it shows as zone coverage. You saw no one was really with Moss. No one's really motioning with McKenzie. And they try running basically their man beater concept. It's a mesh concept. It's not open out of shotgun here. And Josh has a little pressure in his face. You see Cody Ford, once again, surrender the depth of the pocket. And the Jags did a great job of doing that. They compromised the pocket. They got Josh off his spot, didn't allow him to set up on the spot. Taven Bryan wins the edge against Ford, And there's no one really to throw it to here. Yes, Josh could check it down, but you got to remember, Josh is still looking high to low. He's trying to get the ball in the end zone on third down. So his eyes are downfield. Now it's at this point where Josh is now starting to backpedal just a little bit to buy some time. And he ends up having to drop his eyes. So he couldn't just check it down to McKenzie or Moss here. So he escapes the pocket, tries making a play. And somehow it does get it to Moss, but the ball goes incomplete. So here's the end zone angle. Watch Cody Ford on the snap. All he's supposed to do is get nose to nose with that defensive tackle and lock on and engage. And you see what happens there is Brian gets his hands inside. He locks out. He even torques Cody Ford right there. Turns those shoulders. So now when your offensive linemen for the Bills are supposed to stay square to the line of scrimmage and finish near the line of scrimmage, he's losing ground here. He's giving up depth of the pocket. And then he's getting his shoulders turned. That's when the edge is softened right there for Brian. He executes an arm over, and now he's in Josh Allen's face, and Allen has to do something. So he tries escaping the pocket to his right with an athletic move, throws it to Moss, but the ball goes incomplete. Top of the second quarter, 1st and 10 situation. The game is tied at 3. They'll send out a 2x2 set as the Jags show a too high look. And this is a really nice play by Josh Allen. Good pass protection on a Haas concept. To the top of the screen, Diggs gets a little push off for a first down. So why is Josh throwing that? Well, the Jags drop into a single high look. Simple cover 3 by the Jags here. Josh reads it. Lets the seam work up the numbers. And he's able to hit Diggs as Miles Jack isn't able to get underneath to the flats there to Diggs. But I want you to look at it from the end zone angle because this is important. It's a 2x2 set, so it's a little different than a couple plays ago where they had a trip set. But look at the defensive line. 5 across the defensive line. So this is more of like a simulated pressure by the Jags. But what ends up happening, again, they pop out. They pop out Miles Jack to the left side of the screen there, and they're still only rushing 4. But watch the pass protection. Josh did a full slide on that play a couple plays earlier. On this play, the offensive line executes a 5-0 protection. So you see everyone has a guy, right? Dawkins is going to have Miles Jack, but he doesn't rush. So what does he do? He just helps out, helps seal that edge. Josh has a nice pocket, and the ball is able to be pushed down the field. I mean, this is a play that got up over 3 seconds from snap to attempt, and Josh has the time to make that throw to Diggs. You see him look down the seam to Sweeney. That's taken away by Jenkins. So then he gets it out to Diggs for the first down. So 3rd and 3 situation later on in this drive, 13:36 on the clock. The game's still tied at 3. And you can see the Jags are not messing around in this play. They use an add-on or hug rush by the safety. But you can see the middle of the field is wide open. It's a cover 0 look. The Bills have Sweeney and Singletary stay in max protection. And Josh is communicating out the Diggs right there. And usually when it's cover 0, you want to attack the middle of the field. You want to kind of get those quick passes to the middle on slants. But what happens here is Josh and Diggs look to push the ball down the field on a double move. And it's covered really well. And it really didn't matter because of the add-on rush that the Jags sent. But Josh somehow gets out of this. You see Beasley push up field and then out wide into the boundary. He's open, and Josh somehow finds him late, even though there's a rusher bearing down on him. So look at how the pass blocking unfolds. Again, the Jags are showing every guy in a gap here. It's a cover 0 look. They need max protection, and you can see that the Jags are in man coverage. Wingard is manned up on Sweeney, and so as Sweeney takes the edge rusher here, Josh Allen, which is, you want to account for him. That's not a bad idea or a bad call, as everyone else kind of slides this way. Here's Singletary off the edge. You could see Wingard. He changes his posture from man coverage to pass rush right there. So that to me looks like an add-on rush where he's reading Sweeney's taking Allen here, and that's going to let him rush the passer, but Josh does enough to make him second guess and then finds Beasley out in the flats for the first down. 1st and 10 situation, 12:59 on the clock. Game still tied at 3. They'll send out an empty set here. 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. And they're going to try to hit Beasley in an option route over the middle of the field. Now, the Jags basically stay in quarters coverage, but they're showing 5 initially up near the line of scrimmage. And here's a play that goes incomplete. It's a bad throw, but I want you to watch Beasley run his option route right there. Very little explosion coming out of his route. You could tell he was still banged up this week, and which is why he didn't play as much in the second half. But he's essentially man-on-man versus the linebacker Wilson here. There's very little explosion on this play. Josh is ready to throw, but he reloads a couple different times. His feet are all out of whack, and it goes incomplete. But the Bills also pick up a penalty on this play. Deion Dawkins is called here late in the play for unnecessary roughness. But I want you to watch not only the penalty and how dumb that was, but watch the pass protection. Again, empty protection, right? 5-man protection. How does it break down now? Pretty much man on man, right? You can see everyone's looking out here. You got 2 over here. So those 2 guys, the right guard, right tackle, are looking out there. Man on man here, and then possibly man on man out here. Well, they don't send all 5 of them. What ends up happening is they pop out Miles Jack, and everyone covers down rather well. So everyone is picked up. Spin move by Chason right here by Dawkins. Dawkins recovers, gets his body in front of him, and he does what he's supposed to do as an offensive lineman. Guy jumps up to bat the ball down, you punish him. But right there was enough. You probably didn't need that finish right there. That's what the flag is for. I don't think it's a bad call at all. I think that was unnecessary. But watch Josh throw this ball. Look at his feet. Look at him reload a couple times. Out of rhythm, out of whack. Mechanics are terrible. Then he pretty much throws it into the dirt with very little separation by Beasley. Again, he was banged up, and for most of the game, you could tell he was not operating at 100%. So now it's 1st and 25. After the penalty, still top of the second quarter. 2-by-2 set. Jag showing a 2 high look. And Josh gets decent protection here. He should throw the ball to Diggs like he wanted to. You could see he's looking to the bottom. Throw it right there. There's a window right there for Diggs. He's sitting in the soft zone in that window. Throw it to him right there and move on to the next down. Hopefully, Diggs can do something with it after the catch. Josh doesn't, and then that's when pressure gets to him, and the scramble drill is enabled. And Josh escapes to his left and is able to get it to Sanders, but the ball is ruled incomplete along the sideline. So yes, from this angle, you'll see that Darrell Williams does give up the pressure off the edge. Ward is able to create the soft edge right there, get Williams' shoulders turned, but then what happens is Williams trips over Taven Bryan's legs right there. So the soft edge was created by Bryan, the soft edge was created by Ward. Williams' feet get caught up with Bryan, and then that allows Ward to win the edge, flatten to the quarterback, but he's not able to bring Josh down because Josh is a big, strong quarterback, and he tries making a play by flicking it out there to Sanders, but it's ruled incomplete. So I think Josh had an opportunity here. I think that sliver of opportunity passed him by. For some reason, he didn't throw it. I don't know if he was trying to push the ball down the field to Sweeney after he cleared Miles Jack because he saw a middle of the field open, but just take the throw here. It's 1st and 25. You don't need to get a first down every single play. Just take what they give you, whether that's the Diggs or even making it to Singletary as a check down throw right there. Get rid of the ball and live to see another down. And on this play, I think Josh had an opportunity a couple times, and he just didn't take it. So on the very next play, 2nd and 25 situation, Bills run play action, and Josh gets sacked here in about 3.2 seconds. With play action, 3.2 seconds is way too quick, and this rep is lost by Cody Ford. And you can see there's really no one even open by the time Josh hits the top of his drop, and he's really under duress as soon as he plants that back foot by Taven Bryan. So let's take a look at Cody Ford at right guard. What happens on this play? Again, get nose to nose. You see him kind of do that right there, but look at his feet. Look at how off balance he is. His feet are way too wide. Bryan fires out with lower pad level, gets his hands inside, and then just throws him and use an arm over move again to throw Cody Ford to the ground. So bad pad level, bad footwork, not able to stay engaged. He gets thrown to the ground. And Brian is the one that is able to yoke Josh Allen right there and bring him down for the sack. So 2nd and 11 situation, 4 minutes on the clock. So towards the end of the half here. And the Bills' offensive line and offense almost looked like they were getting something going. They were holding down the pass rush a little bit better now in the second quarter. And they do a nice play action pass here. But unfortunately, Cole Beasley drops it over the middle. And it's a strike to him. It's just a surprising drop. They use Diggs in the slot to kind of clear things out. And you'll see Beasley right there find that window as that Mike linebacker drops to the deep middle as the Jags run that Tampa 2 look. Beasley finds a window and unfortunately drops it. So as soon as the Bills get in rhythm, get good pass protection off a play action fake, you add a drop to some of the issues that we saw early in this game. As I said, it looked like the Bills' offensive line and tight ends and running backs kind of settled in to the pass protections. They started to realize how the Jags' defensive line were attacking them. They do a good job here off play action of locking everyone down, giving Josh a nice deep pocket to step into so that he can drive the ball down the field. But again, unfortunately, it's dropped by Beasley. A 3rd and 11 situation, 3:41 on the clock. I'm not even going to draw up the routes for you because they aren't able to develop on this 3rd and 11 call in the second quarter. And why aren't they able to develop? Because Josh hits the top of his drop and he has a free rusher in his face. And that was courtesy of Cody Ford. So while he anchored down really well in that last play, this play, he loses his wits, he loses his bearings here and doesn't pick up the looper, and it creates a scramble drill for the Bills, and they're not able to convert this play thanks to that pressure early in the down. So watch how the pass pro unfolds here. 4 down linemen here, and you're going to see both those defensive tackles slant inside. So you have the tackles on islands out wide, so they're out here. Now you have a 3-on-2 in the middle, and I love what Mitch Morse does. He senses a twist coming. So what does he do? He vertical drops. He drops back right there, gains some ground so that he can see both sides of this twist unfolding. So Cody Ford initially punches out. He escorts him to Morse. That's the diver. That's the penetrator, the spiker. Brian is handed to Morse there. So Cody Ford has to get his head on a swivel because now the looper is coming right here. And he just does not account for him. He gets too aggressive, too caught up in Brian as he's spiking inside when he should let him go. Let Morse and Bucker overtake that and pick up this looper. He needs to let go and pick this guy up so that Josh can continue to keep his eyes downfield and let these routes develop on 3rd and long. He's not able to. He has to escape the pocket here. And now the Bills are in scramble drill mode, and there's just no one open along the sideline, and it goes incomplete, and the Bills have to punt. 28 seconds left in the half, 2nd and 10 situation, ball on the 32-yard line. I want you to watch what the Jags do on the back end and how that affects Josh Allen because he was under duress for most of the first half. And on this play, I honestly don't know if his eyes are even downfield or if he's just looking at the edge pressure and edge rushers of Dwayne Smoot and Josh Allen on the backside. Allen's the one that sacks him here, but it's really Dwayne Smoot that is in the vision of Josh Allen. So are his eyes even downfield? You see him try to step up in the pocket and fool Smoot so that Smoot kind of redirects his pass rush and climbs back out the pocket to really buy himself some time. So you can tell that the pass rush was in his head, and I like what they're doing on the back end too. I believe this is a Tampa 2 coverage, but instead of just having this guy drop to the deep middle and wall off up the middle, look how he squeezes the 2 routes right here. This is great because the Bills against cover 2 looks or Tampa 2 looks, they like running high-low combinations where this guy and this guy are going to level off and high-low the linebacker there. Well, the angle taken by Miles Jack right here squeezes those routes, takes away the leverage of those receivers that the Bills love to exploit, and really passes off the receiver to other defenders in their zones rather well. So as the routes develop, you see Beasley kind of sit right here, and instead of coming over the middle right here, you're going to see that guy kind of convert the route to a corner route, which allows this guy to be up under it. So very good zone spacing and teamwork in this zone coverage, on top of Josh Allen really not even looking downfield because he's aware of the pass rush, and that leads to a sack by the Jags. So look at it from the end zone angle. Again, I just don't know if Josh is, at this point in the game, is really even looking downfield. It's almost like he's trying to fool the pass rush first, then try to make a play down the field. You see him right there. He is trying to read Smoot as Smoot goes to the long arm, and he has a little leverage this way. He's trying to get him to commit back up the pocket so that Darrell Williams can get back in position and pick him up. But as he's doing that, he's not thinking about the backside, and Dawkins is beaten by Josh Allen. He bends the corner, retraces up the pocket with a cross chop, and then lays a big hit on Josh Allen. So top of the third quarter, 13:06 on the clock, game tied at 6, and Bills go out to their trip set, and there's really good disguised rush here by the Jags. This is a linebacker right here lined up over Beasley in this trips look, and what he does is rush late and is not accounted for by the offensive line, by Deion Dawkins. Fortunately for the Bills, Josh has the time to hit Beasley, but he takes a wicked hit from the linebacker. So it seemed like the Bills struggled to pick up rushers when they were in their trip set. You saw for most of the second quarter, the 2x2 sets seemed to pick up the rushers rather well. So again, 4 down linemen, late rusher off the edge. He's not accounted for. They drop a defensive end out here, so it's a creeper pressure. And what happens is, this is Josh Allen. Everyone is aware where he is. So what does he do? He slants inside, and this is set up perfectly. He slants inside. Dawkins has to squeeze just a little bit, pass him off to Bucker, but he is not able to then kick out to pick up Wilson, the rusher there, from the linebacker spot from depth, and he runs right through Josh Allen right there. Again, it is completed, but at the expense of your quarterback taking a helmet right below the chin, and Cole Beasley looks slow getting up on the other end as well. It's a good throw, and it really protects Beasley, but Beasley took a big hit here, and as I said earlier, he was not at 100%. So 10:35 on the clock, 3rd-and-3 situation. Bills in a trip set to the top of the screen. Good protection, as they call a little follow concept here. But while there is good protection, Josh makes a bad decision. I think initially he's looking to Sanders, who's running the little over route or crossing route right here, but it's not open. And Sanders looks initially like he wants the ball right there, but Josh smartly doesn't throw this because he's got several defenders that could probably light up Sanders if he throws that in that window on 3rd-and-3. So he's looking to Beasley, and this is a route that the Bills run a lot. It's just an option route. You see Beasley square up the safety Rudy Ford right there and then break towards the middle, but he sees that this linebacker is sitting in the middle right here. So what's he end up doing? He just curls it up right there, and Josh, again, off platform here, doesn't really have his feet under him because he is looking down the field, throws it late. Now he does flip his hips through. He does use that torque to get the ball down the field, but the throw is already late, and the defender is able to step in front of that for the interception. So nothing special from the Jags as far as the rush goes. You see 4-man rush picked up rather well. Everyone kind of sits down, allows Josh to survey the field. Josh isn't able to throw it to Sanders over the middle and throws it late to Beasley, and it's intercepted by the Jags defender. 12 situation, 5:21 on the clock. The game's still tied at 6. So I want you to watch the routes to the top of the screen on this play action pass. I honestly don't know what Beasley is running here. Look at the spacing on those routes. I mean, and look at him. He's not running 100%. You could tell he was injured. The pressure comes from the top of the screen. Ford, the safety nickel defender right there, beats Darrell Williams and forces Josh Allen to step up in the pocket, but he steps up right into Taven Bryan again. Just bad spacing on this play action concept. Not really sure what the receivers were doing here, and it leads to a sack on Josh Allen. So it's another creeper pressure. Again, there's only 6 in the box right there. They send the slot defender off the edge. This guy spikes inside. He drops out. It's a simple creeper pressure. Bills run a ton of it, but the speed of that defender along the edge right there just blows right by Darrell Williams. He does not get enough width out there. He doesn't even get his hands on the guy, really. That guy's able to win the edge quite easily. But then if we look inside, here's Taven Bryant on Bucker right here. Look at how he gets into Bucker and then just a push-pull. I mean, a push-pull, a violent one too. Push-pull, runs right through the running back, and then it's just Josh under pressure here, under duress. I mean, even Smoot off the edge right here gets pressure on Josh. This play didn't stand a chance with all of the guys coming in layers from different angles. Josh could not escape this, and he's brought down for the sack. So same drive, 3rd and 22 situation. I just got to show this play because this throw is just redonkulous. So empty set, and this is just Josh Allen making a play, rolling out to his left, and the spacing between the receivers right here. I mean, this is one of their chain movers, their stick concept. Hey, run to the sticks, turn around, find a void in the coverage, and Josh will throw it on a rope. And I mean, he does exactly that as he rolls to his left, gets his hips around, and finds Emmanuel Sanders. So 3rd and 22 situation, you can see empty protection here. And Josh sees Allen, the edge rusher, loop inside. So he says, hey, I got a soft edge. I'm going to get out there and try to make a play on the run. And he does. Look at him square his hips around. And then that throw is a thing of beauty. 3:13 on the clock, 1st and 20 situation here. Game still tied at 6. And I spoke about it earlier. I liked what the Jags were doing in their 2 high shell looks. Watch how they squeeze the routes to the top of the screen. Watch these 2 guys match the receivers right here and how they squeeze those routes, take away that high-low. And Josh is escaping to his left at this point, and Beasley does come across the middle here, and he's open. Josh is rolling and ends up throwing it to Beasley, but it goes incomplete. And Josh really didn't have any pressure. I know he rolls to his left here, and it does probably feel like he's getting pressure off the edge to the top of the screen, but the Bills accounted for that nickel defender on this play. I know for most of the game they didn't, but he's accounted for on this play. But he does try making a play, rolling to his left, and Beasley is open, but for some reason, Beasley kind of pulls up at the top of the route here instead of continuing across the field, and those inches really hurt the chances of this play being completed. So let's look at it from the end zone angle. 4 down linemen. But again, they send that guy off the edge, and you have these guys sliding this way. It's picked up rather well. And you can see Dawkins is initially looking out to chase on. He doesn't come, so then he pinches back inside and finds some work, and it allows Josh to work to his left. And I'm just not sure what Beasley was doing on this play. He can see that Josh is in the scramble drill mode, and how just delaying that half a click really cost him from getting to the ball there. I know there's some heat on this throw, but I just feel like Beasley's injury was way worse than I think most of us expected in this game. So 3rd and 11 situation, 2:28 on the clock. Game tied at 6. This is the hero ball moment from Josh Allen as the Jags send a pressure here. So they're bringing a late pressure off the edge from the field to the top of the screen, and they're popping out Josh Allen here, and Allen does a good job of reading the quarterback's eyes and letting him take him to the ball. And Josh just sees it late and really should just take the sack here. It's a good timed pressure from the Jags. They have a +1 here. I imagine Josh is responsible for one of these guys because, as you'll see from the end zone angle, pretty much all of these guys are picked up. This is the +1 right here. And typically that's Josh's guy. And while he does see it late, if he had noticed it sooner, he has at least a hot route right here. someone to dump it down to in Singletary, but he sees it so late because his eyes are down the field. He's trying to get the ball to the sticks on 3rd and 11 that he sees it too late, and that was his last-ditch effort to get it out to Singletary, I believe, and it ends up in the hands of Josh Allen. So I do think that this is blocked up really well by the Bills. Look at Morse. You see him explode out of his kick slide so that he can get out here to 96. Ford gets beat up by Miles Jack on this play, just completely disengages, and again, takes away any type of leverage that Josh could use by getting outside of the pocket. Josh is just not able to escape that way. They have that contained, and the edge rusher, the nickel rusher right here, does a great job of looping inside and attacking the spot, attacking Josh Allen's spot in the pocket, and forces Allen to panic and retreat to his right, and then lob the ball up for the opposing Josh Allen for the interception. At the top of the 4th quarter, I thought the Bills did some good things by going to their playmaker, and it's probably too late at this point, but they got Diggs involved. On this play, you see them just run a screen to the bottom here, and I mean, it was kind of blown up with McKenzie blocking out in front, but Diggs makes something out of it. And on this play, you're going to see Diggs to the top, and it's just an in-breaking route, and one of those quick game in-breaking route type passes that really the Bills probably should have went to earlier in the game. But when they did go to these type of plays, you saw Josh Allen a little hesitant. You saw guys in his face immediately. So it was nice to see the Bills kind of switch back to this after Josh had seen some of the pressures earlier in the game. And it seemed at this point like the Bills were getting on track, and Josh was seeing the field well and getting the ball out of his hands, helping himself and his offensive line. So here's another one. 3rd and 7 situation. 1-on-1 to the bottom of the screen. Jags showing pressure. Josh Allen with a 0 one-step drop. Throws a slant to Diggs. Unfortunately, he stopped short on this play. Maybe a better ball out in front of Diggs allows Diggs to run and get the first down on this play. Looks like Josh may have slipped up in his mechanics. It looks kind of closed off as he throws it here from the end zone angle. You can kind of see how, 0 one-step drop right there, but he doesn't really get to flip his hips all the way through. And Diggs kind of jumps and body catches it instead of catching it with his hands out in front and then running after the catch. But it was nice to see the Bills go to Diggs at the top of the 4th quarter. 2nd and 12 situation, 7:54 on the clock. Bills are down 3 points. Empty set here, and here's Josh Allen making a play after he's pressured. Again, from the Jags, sending the slot defender right here, sending him. But the Bills have it accounted for. You see Williams is out there waiting on him. But there's still pressure that leaks through. Number 91, Smoot right here. Kind of gets the edge here. Flushes Josh out of the pocket, but Josh does a great job of climbing the pocket, and on the run, you're going to see Diggs sit down right here. This is the clearing route, and Josh on the run throws it up and over the linebacker Wilson, right to Diggs to put the Bills in Jags territory under 8 minutes. So at this point in the game, the Bills did a better job of identifying the type of rushes that the Jags were sending, and this is something I also noticed. Notice the alignment of this defender right here. And again, the Bills are sliding these guys out to the far right here. So Morse has to snap the ball and then kick slide wide to pick up that defensive tackle. Now that defensive tackle gets up into Cody Ford, which makes it very difficult for him to disengage and pick up Smoot. Really, the guy that's on Ford should be Mitch Morse's guy, and Ford should be picking up Smoot. But because that defender, that pass rusher gets up into Cody Ford, Taven Bryant was a handful for Ford on this play, blows him back, keeps him engaged and occupied, and allows Smoot to flush Josh Allen up into the pocket. But look at Josh Allen, keeping his eyes down the field, knows where the line of scrimmage is, and then gets up and over the second level defenders to Diggs for the first down. So 3rd and 2 situation, this is the fumble by Josh Allen. Another bad decision in my opinion. Zone read. This guy is way outside, simply on alignment. And you see him not really charge downhill. I believe Josh needs to hand this off. And you can see everyone is washing these guys down. Singletary is going to hug that hip of the right tackle, Darrell Williams, and likely pick up that first down. But Josh keeps it for some reason. And then he is loose with the ball here and ends up fumbling it and really costing the Bills on this drive. So 1st and 10 situation, 2:59 on the clock. Bills down 3. Josh Allen gets another shot, and they run a 2x2 set and look to a high-low concept to the bottom of the screen, one they run a ton of, and one that Josh has a lot of success in. So Gabriel Davis to the flats on a diagonal route, and then a corner route by Stephon Diggs, the number 1 receiver, to the bottom of the screen. And Josh does what he normally does. He uses a little pump fake right there, and what he's trying to do is get this corner right here to bite on it, to become flat-footed so he can sneak it to Diggs on the corner route. But he doesn't pull the trigger here, and I'll leave this up to you. Do you think he can make this throw? Do you think he can anticipate this throw and get the ball down the field with his arm talent? I believe he can. On these corner routes to Diggs, it's up to the quarterback to throw him open. So he can either throw it flatter to keep it away from a safety, or he can throw it more vertically to the corner to keep it away from the corner. It's up to the quarterback to throw him open. It doesn't have to be a perfect route. It's really up to the quarterback to be on the same page as a wide receiver. And I believe Josh could have made this throw to Stephon Diggs. Maybe he's being passive because he doesn't want to turn it over on one of the first plays of this drive. But I think he can make this throw from the right hash to Stephon Diggs down the field. I think he can throw him open. You can see Stephon Diggs believes he can too. So on the very next play, 2nd and 10 situation, 2:54 on the clock. 3x1 set, Josh Allen just makes a play. You see him escape the pocket to the top of the screen, somehow breaks contain, and then just watch this throw to Emmanuel Sanders. What an incredible display of athleticism and arm strength from the quarterback. So we'll look at it from the end zone angle. Why was Josh Allen under pressure on this play? So you see it again, right? Island, 3-on-2 over the middle. So what happens on this play? So you see Ford escort his pass rusher to Morse, and then this time he actually pivots and tries getting a piece of that defensive tackle. So while we saw him screw up on this pass protection earlier in the game, he does a good job of recovering here for the most part. Josh Allen climbs the pocket, and as he does, you see Josh Allen, the edge rusher, kind of peek inside here, and that half a click allows Josh to break contain, but pretty good recovery by the other Allen. But look at the athleticism on this throw. And look at the delivery and release point of this throw. If Josh Allen, the quarterback, is trying to square and throw up over the top with a normal delivery and normal release point, that's probably blocked. Look at this sidearm, 3/4 Dennis Eckersley type throw to Emmanuel Sanders. Just an incredible display of athleticism and arm strength, arm talent from Josh Allen. Rolling left, flipping those hips from probably just inside the 10-yard line, right at the 9-yard line. Sidearm throw to Emmanuel Sanders to right around the 37-yard line. Just a wicked play from the talented quarterback on a day when he was under duress from the very first play of the game. Game's winding down, 2nd and 7 situation, 1:37 on the clock, and the Bills started using 10 personnel a little more late in this game, and the Jags surprisingly went to man coverage. This is one of those plays, and I think Josh is trying to hit the curl wheel to the top of the screen. Gabe Davis is the split out receiver right here. He's running a curl. I think they're trying to run that swing curl wheel combination versus man coverage that they like to run. But Josh feels pressure from his right and climbs the pocket, tries making a play as Gabriel Davis pivots back to the boundary but the pass is a little low, almost out of reach of Gabriel Davis, and it goes incomplete. So I want to show you the pressure and the pass protection because it's pass protection we saw earlier in the game. See Josh communicating to Bucker and Dawkins. It's that 5-man look, right, across the board. They got that weird alignment here. They're expecting a stunt from that side of the field. And what happened last time is he dropped out. He was unaccounted for by Darrell Williams. Well, watch what happens on this play. So it's the same protection. They slide these guys this way. There's that little twist. Again, here's a twist. So it's picked up by Bucker, but remember Darrell Williams struggled with this early in the game? Watch Deion Dawkins. You see him motion to Josh Allen. Hey, he's got to squeeze here. So again, he's got to watch Jack. And if Jack drops like he does, he needs to kick back out wide and get the edge rusher there, Josh Allen. And that's exactly what he does. He sees Jack. Boom. He gets back outside and does what he can to deter this pass rusher and not allow him to get the edge there. Josh actually feels the pressure from Taven Bryan, and this is what I was talking about a few plays ago. They're asking a lot of Morse to snap and then quickly get into Taven Bryan on this play, and he's kick sliding this way and trying to square this guy up. Look where the ball goes as he snaps it. Goes off to his left. That's what tends to happen when you're trying to kick slide quickly to one side, this side being the right side this time. The ball's going to go to the left. There are times where he has to kick slide quickly to his left, and that movement as he's snapping will cause the ball to go and float to the right just a little bit. Well, that's what happens on this play, but as you can see, the pass protection kind of breaks down right there. Josh is flushed off the spot, up into the pocket, and there's a little separation right there, but the ball is out of reach of Gabriel Davis's hands. The final play of this breakdown is the 3rd and 7 situation, 1:18 on the clock. And it's a play where Darrell Williams is laid off the snap for some reason, which is odd altogether because Darrell Williams is usually one of the quickest guys off the snap. Well, he's late here, and it cost the Bills because Dwayne Smoot gets the edge. And Josh has nowhere to go. He can't climb the pocket because of the looper off the left-hand side, Josh Allen. And it really was the deciding play of the game. So forget about the routes. Let's look at the pass protection. Look at the overload again, this time to the left side of the formation. Again, 3 guys right here. That should be an alert. Hey, there's a twist or game coming from the left side here. And Cody Ford has Miles Jack over him, and Jack does occupy him, but he ends up popping out. And again, Darrell Williams should have the edge rusher right there, but he's laid off the snap. So very similar pass protection to what we saw earlier in the game where Williams wasn't able to squeeze, then kick out wide to get Smoot. Very similar to the play you just saw from Deion Dawkins where he was able to execute that versus Josh Allen. So you got 3 engaged here. Well, of course, you got Allen looping back inside here. So it's up to Morse to hand this pass rusher off to Bucker, but look at Morse's helmet. He's looking over to Bucker like, hey, I'm passing him off to you. He's not able to until it's too late. And then you have an athlete like Josh Allen barreling down towards the quarterback here. He is late to get over the top of that. And that just really deters Josh Allen from stepping up in the pocket. So pretty much everything that could go wrong on this play did from a pass protection standpoint. It was a well-executed game on the left side. It was a blown pass protection by Darrell Williams on the right side. And it really shut down any chances for the Bills of making a comeback. So if you made it through the whole film room session, I appreciate your support and patience. I know it was a long one. But again, these are the things that we're going to see each and every week from here on out. Each game is a learning experience for not just the players, but us as fans. And I hope that you approach it that way when you're watching this film. So thanks again for joining me in the film room. I'm your host, Eric Turner. I will see you next week.